What's up, guys? Welcome back. I've done a ton of videos on the covered call and the cash secure put, but I've never really answered the basic question of what is the wheel strategy? Like, why should I even watch those videos about the covered call and the cash secure put if I don't know what the wheel is? So in this video, I want to get down into the digital whiteboard. I'm going to give you a basic, picture of what the wheel strategy is and like why it's so hyped up and why so many people like myself are talking about how great it is. Then if you kind of like what this video told you, then you could go check out the playlist and look at a deeper dive inside the covered call and the cash secure put. So when somebody asks, hey Brad, why the wheel strategy? Why am I getting into it? This video will answer that question for you. Okay, so what the wheel strategy essentially is, it's using collateral to sell covered calls and cash secure puts to collect a buyer's premium, okay? So we have a couple of different vocab that we need to start with here. We have the collateral, that's pretty much a vocab word. Covered calls is gonna be a vocab, cash secure put, and also premium. Once we get those established, we'll have a pretty good idea of what's going on. So first off, what is the collateral? So the collateral is going to be one of two things. It's either going to be 100 shares of a stock, and we call this 100 shares a contract. And the second is enough money to cover the cost of 100 shares. So if we're going to be using 100 shares, this is going to be called a covered call. If we're using cash, that's where we're going to be using a cash secure put. Now with a put, you might have heard of something called a naked put. We are not doing that. A naked put essentially is when you don't have the cash to cover the options trade that you're about to make. And in both these cases, guys, we are going to be selling options, not buying options. And guys, sometimes you'll see selling as writing. So for example, if I say I wrote a covered call, that's the same as me saying that I sold a covered call. And I'm going to dive into Robinhood and show you exactly where you see all these things and exactly how you'd move forward in making these different options trades. Now the premium, guys, it's just going to be cash that goes directly into your buying power. You get it as soon as that option is fulfilled, because you can write an option and it doesn't get fulfilled. Just like you can put in a limit order to buy a stock and it not get fulfilled. Options need to be filled by the market just like anything. And once they get fulfilled, that buyer pays you that premium immediately. So I underline this upon fulfillment because oftentimes people say like, it's not reflecting my portfolio value, for example. So like if you have $1,000 and on Robinhood you're watching your stocks do this and the amount in your portfolio go like that. Well, if you sold an option and got a $30 premium, it's not going to say 1,030. The 30 is going to go into your buying power, and then after expiration, that we'll talk about when I show you the actual options chain, that's when it will reflect your portfolio value. But you do have that money immediately. So if you have an expiration of say 2 weeks from now and you make that option right now, you get that premium right now. You don't have to wait the 2 weeks to get it. So essentially, guys, the long and the short is we have some sort of collateral. We have 100 shares of a stock, or we have enough money to buy 100 shares, and we're going to use that as collateral to just collect premiums over and over again. Now it is worth mentioning, and I'll do a video on like the pros and the cons of this later. I have that coming up next week, but this is taxed as ordinary income. People always want to know about the taxes, and like I said, it's taxed as ordinary income. Whatever your federal income tax rate and your bracket is, whatever that is, that's what you get taxed on your premiums. So now let's take a look at both of these covered calls and the cash secure puts and what you'd see inside Robinhood, and very similarly, whatever brokerage you're using. And we'll look at all of these different pieces of vocabulary and we'll see where we're actually going to get paid and how you determine your premiums. So here, guys, is going to be what we call an options chain. It's all the different options inside the option, if you will. And I've used AT&T, one of my favorite stocks, to do the wheel with. My next video is actually going to be about all the stocks I do the wheel with. So if you're interested about that, subscribe or whatever, hit the bell notification so you know. But AT&T up here, we can see AT&T, and we have its current share price. Now, what you'll notice is I have to put everything on a sell. Remember, guys, we are a seller. We are not a buyer. All right. So when we say we are going to sell this, we have a share price. Now this share price is also listed right here. So that's what the stock is actually trading at. And we call this at the money. Now you can see I've done a put here. So what that means is whatever option I choose, we're going to talk about, I'm going to be using cash as collateral. Where now on this side, this is going to be the call side. So that means I have 100 shares of AT&T and I am going to use 100 shares as my collateral. Right here we see the expiration, and that's how long this option is going to stay open, okay? And if you want to know more about like the expiration date and the buyer signing, like I said, look at those deeper videos, but I just kind of want to give you this information here. The buyer has the option to assign or close this at any time in which the contract has been met. All of the things inside the contract have been met that we'll talk about. They can assign that at any time. Now, as a seller, we are able to close this options, but that's what you see inside that playlist. I did a video on just closing options. So now let's look down here at a couple of different other numbers that we'll see. The strike price, okay? Now, the great thing about the wheel is that we get to pick the price at which we would sell 100 shares or the price at which we would buy 100 shares. So for example, right now AT&T is at $27.04. Let's say my basis on them is $28, and I'd be happy to buy another 100 shares of that at $26. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write something called a cash secure put. And this strike price here is the price at which I would buy 100 shares. So the strike price is the first piece of the options contract. It says if the share price were to fall below $26, I will buy 100 shares for that $26 regardless of how low the share price goes. There's kind of like the give and take there. If it dives all the way to zero, you still have to buy them for $26 a share, which is one of the cons. Now with AT&T, the likelihood of going to zero in 1 week, very unlikely, but it could happen. Now the buyer wants it to go to zero, right? They want to get $2,600 for a stock that is worth zero. So for that likelihood and for that possibility of such a high return, they are going to pay you a premium to make that option and to fix in the price at which you buy it. That premium is showed over here at 14 cents. Now remember, one contract is 100 shares. So this right here is really $14 in premium that you will get immediately upon fulfillment. These percent change, guys, and these changes, to be honest, I very rarely look at them when I'm just a beginner. That's something you look into further on down the line. Also, chance of profit. There are numbers called the Greeks, which kind of figure out this percentage, that the likelihood that this might happen. Once again, that's really just speculation. It's not set in stone. And this break-even price that you're going to see down here in this column, essentially, for you to break even, the price has to be at $25.86, because if you get assigned to buy 100 shares at $26, well, you also received $14 as well. So this is that $26 minus the 14 cents per share. So now in this cash secure put, what do we want to happen? Well, what we want to happen is we want the share price to stay up here in this region here. Because if it expires worthless at the end of expiration, if the share price has not dipped below $26, we keep this premium and we keep our cash. In this case, the cash would be $2,600 would be the collateral or the cash needed to cover this put. Now, if any time between now and expiration, the share price falls below $26, that's when the buyer now has the opportunity to assign this option and force you to buy 100 shares at $26. Now, if it dips below 26 and he doesn't assign you and then it goes back above 26, you're good. It's only while the share price is below that. So essentially, as somebody that's selling a cash secure put, we want the price of that option to stay high so that we can just collect the premiums and we don't have to necessarily buy the 100 shares. Some people want to buy the 100 shares, so they'll make this option closer to the share price. As you get closer and closer to the share price, the money goes up and up and up. The premiums increase the closer to the share price that you get. Now, people ask me all the time, like, Brad, why wouldn't I just get $199 and make this cash secure put here? Well, essentially, then you are buying 100 shares at $29 when it's only worth $27. That's a $200 difference, and you only got $199. So essentially, you'd lose on this trade right here. So we never are going to make a cash secure put above the share price. It doesn't really make that much sense. If it's really close here, sometimes I've done it right at the money, like right above. If I think it's going to shoot up in the next day or two, it's very unlikely for the buyer to assign early or far away from expiration. As you get closer, that likelihood goes up. So if it's far to expiration, I might make something just above the share price if I think it's going to go up, but very, very rarely. Now, essentially on the covered call side, like I said, we have 100 shares. In this option, we are going to pick a price that we'd be happy selling 100 shares, and that would not be a big deal. For example, let's say we had AT&T at a cost basis of $25, and we'd be very, very happy selling it at $28. That would be a $300 capital gain, which would fall under short-term, long-term capital gains. It really depends on you. That's something I'll talk about in that pros and cons video. So you might make a covered call up here saying, if the share price comes up to 28, I'll sell off 100 shares. I'll take my $300 in capital gains, and I'll also take a nice $11 premium here. So the break even now for me becomes that share price plus the premium. People ask me about the red and the green all the time. That just means how has the price or how has the premium changed that day? Has the premium increased in price or decreased in price? That's really all it means. Now on the put side, we wanted the price to stay up. On the call side, so we don't want to get assigned and lose our shares, we want the price to stay down here. If at any time the price goes above $28 into this range, that's when I can be assigned. So we see the different things. In a call, we want the price to stay nice and low so we don't get assigned and we just collect this juicy premium. And in a put, we want the price to stay up so that we don't get assigned and we just collect the premium. The goal is really just to collect premium, but I must say, you always want to assume you're going to get assigned and then hope that you don't. Like, you cannot do this with a stock you're married to and that you don't want to lose 100 shares of, or something that you have a ton of capital gains, because if you get called away, now you have realized capital gains that you will have to pay taxes on. If you want to see that playlist with the deeper dive of the wheel and some other things that I've done inside of it, some other instructional videos, I will leave that playlist right here, guys. If the video did help, please give it a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm and share it with your other friends that are learning how to trade options. And until I see you guys on the next one, stay positive, work really, really hard, always be kind to other people. Hope you have yourself an amazing day and an even better tomorrow.